All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's Christmas, and today I'm together with Eric Meijer, who is my best friend in the whole nuclear advocacy world.
Hmm.
He has to share that place with one other person, but it's all right. He's going to be on another Christmas day. In any case, we have had so many cool adventures together. Eric and I, we met each other in real person in 2017 in St. Louis when there was an eclipse going on, and a bunch of people were doing interesting stuff, and having interesting talks about thorium. And I really wanted to make Christmas Day something special, so that's why I invited you, Eric.
Oh man, well, it's a pleasure to share this holiday with you, my friend.
Awesome, awesome. So what I want to show the viewers is I mean it is a cool journey to be a pro nuclear activist, somebody who wants to help nuclear get to a better spot. And when we both started our advocacy adventure, nuclear was really in the doldrums, right?
Yeah, we were losing reactors left and right. We're trying our best to prevent them from closing. Having a little bit of success here and there, but overall, I mean, without the support of the federal government, which came several years later, it wasn't working great. We had a little bit of success, but it's
We
tough.
were we were totally fighting a losing fight at that moment. At least that's what it felt like. And I remember vividly, I was getting into this nuclear advocacy thing back in 2014. That was when it really got started for me, when I started investigating, all these energy questions and started working on my book. And while I was working on this book, I got onto the internet and I needed some inspiration. And I remember, I don't know if this is 2014 or 2015. I remember seeing you, at these Thorium Energy Alliance conferences and such. And I was like, damn, that guy has it all figured out.
Yes, yeah, Thorium.
Singing his way to singing his way towards a new reactor every day.
Yep, clearly that was an effective strategy. That is the reason now we see the nuclear renaissance happening. Yeah,
So
yeah,
so so tell us, how did you get into this into this world?
well, yeah. So it's kind of weird to say, but a basically a YouTube video changed my life. And maybe somebody who's watching this right now will have their path changed forever as a result. But this particular video was one that was edited by our mutual friend Gordon McDowell, and
Absolute legend.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, the that Calgarian champion we all love, and he had cut together a very dense talk into a rapid fire brain dump, brain upload of information about molten salt reactors and thorium, and I just within 11 or 12 minutes, whatever it was, I was like convinced, like, wait a second, we we really need to be looking into this. This sounds amazing. Hey, we can power the future on old nuclear waste. We could have meltdown proof reactors and build them in factories and ship them places. Like he packed the entire advanced nuclear blueprint and vision into about 10 minutes. And that put me on a different path in life where I was having a lot of success as a singer. I was thinking about being a music teacher initially, and I was like, oh, maybe I could sing professionally. All my teachers are telling me I can, and I'm getting a couple gigs here and there. But yeah, at that point, it was like, nah, I need to start a nonprofit to work on this. This is my new life's mission. And I guess what really underscored it was in 2012 when we had a 500-year flood in my college town up in Duluth, Minnesota. And we saw, about, just converting to centimeters here, about 30 centimeters of rainfall.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot in like about 15 hours or so. So yeah, it was enough to take a city that's on a hill and flood it
Oh my
somehow,
God.
despite gravity existing.
Yeah.
Uh, so I lost my car in that because I was not taking it seriously, and I was out and about and trying to get home, and found myself in the middle of a river where the road used to be.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that was the turning point for you.
Yeah, I think it was one of the definitely one of the big ones where I'm like, okay, that just now it's time to take climate change a little more seriously, and I'm one of the few people who know about this really special and important solution, and it doesn't seem like that many people are willing to talk about it and advocate for it. And I know a little bit about politics and running campaigns, so maybe this is somewhere where I can help out.
I mean, 2012. Damn. I was still working at a help desk in 2012, uh, oblivious to the troubles of the world. I was planning to do a, an off-grid an off-grid home. I wanted to build a house that would
Yeah,
power itself with solar panels and batteries and such. That was around that time,
yeah,
and I've always been a guy who wants to figure things out with Excel and do some calculations and see whether that would work or not. And in the end, it wouldn't work, and it would cost it a crap ton of money. And I
yeah.
was like, if it takes this much money just for me to do this.
Right. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. It's like an indulgence of the days of yore, where you're just paying money so you feel better. But
And
it's not.
the irony is that so what happened was in 2009 I still had a very good job. I came out of college with an IT degree, and I worked for the largest technology company of the Netherlands, which was Philips at the time. Now it's ASML. ASML is basically a company that builds the machines that built the chips for NVIDIA. so so if NVIDIA is important, then ASML is hugely important. And Philips was basically the big tech company at that time, but they're no longer. They basically sold off all this stuff. So I had a very good future ahead of me. Good salary, lease car. And then I became depressed, and Philips said goodbye. And my other job said also goodbye. So I dropped in terms of income terrifically hard
Mm,
while the fireworks start going off in the neighborhood. And I basically I didn't have any real you know opportunity to be indulgent about my future home. So in
mm,
the end, nothing of that came. But I started doing the calculation. I started making these calculations bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I saw Mark C. Jacobson stuff, you know, run the world on 100% wind, water, and solar. And I started doing my whole Excel
yeah.
stuff again. And I was like, this is funny. It doesn't work.
Yep.
And that's when I found Gordon McDowell's videos. Uh,
Yes.
and that was basically also my gateway into nuclear.
I was trying to remember if I had your books on this. Okay, they're on my other shelf downstairs. But yeah, I got them both. Climate Zero Hour, and is it the Non Solutions Project?
The non-solutions project, yes. And then there's also Highway to Dystopia, which I have unpublished because
Okay.
I wasn't particularly proud of that. It was my first exercise in writing a book, which I will cherish to this day. But the concepts that are in it aren't particularly good or anything. So yeah,
Yeah.
this Highway to Dystopia, the Non-Solutions Project, Climate Zero, and there's even a fourth book. I can't recall the
Oh
title.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wrote
Oh
four
man,
books in total.
that's
Uh,
four more than me. So
yeah, well, I mean, if you're unemployed and nobody will hire you for anything, and you've got a lot of spare time, and your mind has got to do something, then that's something that you can do. I will promise you that you will make a lot of money out of it. that's just not in the. I mean, that's just not how things go. If you want to be a successful writer, then you have to have a platform.
Yeah.
Otherwise, forget about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Just a few folks in our community have been able to be successful, and our friend Meredith Angwin, of
Oh,
course,
absolutely.
very, very popular book.
Shorting the grid.
It's excellent. I had the honors of recording the audio book for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So that's on Audible if you want to listen to me for 13 hours or whatever it is.
I mean, we spent a car ride for like 4 or 5 hours. That was long.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's get into these adventures because many people don't have an idea of what we've been through trying to advocate for nuclear. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the first time when we met, that was 2017, but you were already active in this whole community before that. What did you do?
Yeah, that's right. So, started, I think, like a lot of people could and should and have started organizing events around my community. So I hosted the Energy Solutions Summit at my college, had like a little over 100 people come. I got all the professors to offer extra credit to go to this event where we had a wind expert, a solar expert, a biofuels guy, and a molten salt reactor expert, which is Kim Johnson.
Oh, really?
And that was so everybody gave like 10-minute presentations, and then there was like a sort of discussion amongst them, like who's got the best solution for the future. It's kind of fun. Sort of the first event I did. The Sierra Club co-sponsored until like the last minute, and they're like, "Wait, there's nuclear." I'm like, "Yeah, I said
No.
that earlier." Oh well, we can't do that. So that was my first run in with a local Sierra Club who backed out at the last second.
Oh my God.
And yeah, so that was kind of the first thing, and then recording music videos about thorium, and then getting a ticket getting a badge under Energy for Humanity to attend the Paris climate talks in 2015.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kirsty Gogan. And singing on buses and trains with Rowley and Jana, the Finnish authors of Climate Gamble at the time, just handing out tons of books.
Yeah.
There's a scene in a movie called The New Fire about that, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Didn't we know each other?
5,000 books.
I mean, but we must have had contact by that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, must have been.
Must have, probably. We could check our emails going way back.
God.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's going to be an archaeological. I can't even say the word archaeology. Archaeological dig.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So after that, I connected with Michael Schellenberger. He wanted me to come to California and organize a march. So for Diablo Canyon. So we organized this 5-day long march that started at the Sierra Club, hit also Greenpeace in the NRDC, Natural Resource Defense Council,
Yeah.
which we reflavored to no receiving dirty cash. I think
They have the Blue Mountains as a logo, right?
yeah.
Icy mountains.
Yep. And despite all of their work that has benefited natural gas industry, they still have a fairly clean image. They can also claim success for shutting down Indian Point. They were a big part of that as well. Go in.
I remember that. I remember that moment when they finally did it. That who's the actor? The Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo. He even. I remember that there was this horrible woman who was like, "We finally did it, yo!" And and then there was Mark Ruffalo. Yes, Indian Point is finally closed down.
Of all people, he should understand the power of radioactivity and how strong it can make you as the Hulk. But nonetheless, rest in peace, Indian Point. We did have a win earlier before Indian Point shut down in 2016, where we got some legislation passed to prevent the closure of 9 Mile Point, Guinea, and Fitzpatrick, which are all running at this point still, well run by Constellation. 9 Mile Point has a hydrogen pilot plant at it. So great facilities up in northern upstate New York.
New York, right? It's right down. What is it, Lake Ontario, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a part of my brain that's like, is it Lake Erie? And it's like, no, those are the Ohio plants there. Those are, it's because I've worked on worked on saving reactors on other Great Lakes, and so it's just part of my brain. Like, which one is this one again?
I recently got to view Kewaunee and Zion.
Oh, really?
Both are lost. Well, not in real life, but
okay.
When I was doing my
you're in my neighborhood, man. What the hell?
When I was doing my mapping stuff.
Yeah, the Kewaunee, there's a little bit more left. Zion's basically just a concrete pad with.
I mean, Kewaunee is just a nuclear island, right? That's all it is there.
Yeah. I think it's still in safe store though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So safe store means there's still fuel in the building.
Yes, I believe so. Now I'm questioning. Yeah.
Crazy. So when is all this happen? We're moving up towards 2017.
2017. Yep. So yeah, after that, there's right before that, I guess, is the Save the Nuke Summit. That's the last bit I did with Environmental Progress and Michael Schellenberger. That was awesome protest again of potential shutting down of a couple plants there. Clinton and Quad Cities, those were saved with legislation out of Illinois. That was fantastic. And we moved on to Ohio, trying to save some plants there. Davis Bessie and Perry.
Yeah, Davis Bessie and Perry, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was wild. Remember,
but the trouble was they mixed in coal.
Yes.
Right? They mixed in coal, and they didn't just want to save the nuclear power plants, but they also wanted to do something that would help coal.
Subsidies for the coal plants. Yep.
Yeah, that was very ugly. I remember that because I made a video about this, trying to explain that they really needed to save the nuclear power plants regardless of what would happen to the coal plants.
Yeah.
I got in a huge row with Jesse Jenkins about this.
Oh man, I know. It's the kind of thing where, like, well, as long as the nuclear plants keep operating, the coal is going to shut down soon. It's becoming way less economical to run it versus gas. So that was sort of our argument there. We did want to remove the coal part, but anyway, that kind of, so we knocked on how many? 40,000 doors. That's what it was. 40,000 doors. We got 9,000 people to send postcards, handwritten postcards to their lawmakers about this.
Ohio.
In Ohio. And then, pulled up stakes. They didn't get any legislation passed, and we ran out of money in October. So we stopped that campaign. And then the following year, the Speaker of the House in Ohio got indicted on federal bribery charges.
Oh, no.
I think he's still in prison. So it was a mess, man. Yeah, I'm glad we weren't still there when all that went down, because that was bad.
That's bad. That's bad. And that's the trouble that we are in oftentimes, or not oftentimes. We're not in a lot of trouble oftentimes at all. The trouble is that we are trying to save a technology. We're trying to save power plants. And we're just involved, not with these people, in a sense that we are co-conspirators or anything, but we have to work with these people, and sometimes these people are just assholes.
Slimy corporations that are trying to grease the palms and ram things through rather than actually talk to people, actually make the argument, which I think is an easy argument to make. Like, hey, do you like really high paying jobs for the community so people who live there can spend a lot of money in local businesses? Do you like hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue and revenue for your schools, tax money for your schools? Do you like clean energy that doesn't give you cancer? oh, okay. Hey, well, let's save these nuclear plants then. It's
There's
really
so many
pretty
good
simple.
arguments.
Yeah. Yeah. They just weren't willing to make them. They just like, oh, let's just pay a couple people to ram it through and do it in a very haphazard way. And yeah. Yeah, but and then
I
at the end of
remember,
it, they didn't even need the money. They
yeah,
because they repealed the law. They carved up the company. It became Energy Harbor, and instead now they can sell clean energy. They're called or zero emission credits, ZECs, and get extra funds for the plant for that. It was like it was really that simple all along. Just value the energy for being clean and
yeah, the
let
Zex.
companies who wanna run their company on 100% clean electricity purchase certificates for it.
Right, right. I remember not long after that, you also did some canvassing in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania. Or was that
Yeah,
before that?
it was before. Yep. That was kind of just getting things off the ground, working with a lot more college students versus Ohio was a lot of like paid canvassers that we had. But yeah, college students, a lot of volunteers in Pennsylvania around the Penn State campus there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squirrel Hill.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there is a Squirrel Hill there. I once was in
Okay.
Pittsburgh when I was on my honeymoon with my wife.
Happy Valley, I think, is
Yeah.
campus town. Oh, you went on your honeymoon to Pittsburgh area?
Well, there's a cat coming by. I'm not going to edit that out this time. It's Christmas,
Don't,
and the cat is also part of
don't
the
do it.
family.
Yeah.
Um, well, when I married my wife in 2008, uh, it was our long held dream to do a long road trip in the United States. And we had a road trip driving from we landed in New York, and we drove from New York to Boston, and we drove from Boston to Niagara Falls, and from Niagara Falls we went to Toronto because we had family there, and then from Toronto we went to Erie, and from Erie to Pittsburgh, and we went all the way down the what is it, the Skyline Drive, which is near Monticello. Monticello. What is it called again? The town that's there, where there's a university. I can't recall. In any case, it's due southwest from Washington. So we went to Washington, and
Shenandoah National Park.
yeah, that's where the Skyline Drive is. Yeah,
Yeah. Great.
Charlottesville.
Oh,
That's it.
Charlotte.
Charlottesville. Yeah, that's where we stayed, Charlottesville. But in any case, I went to Pittsburgh once on my honeymoon.
Hey, there are worse places for sure.
Oh, I thought that Pittsburgh was a very cool place to
It's
be.
pretty. Yeah. That
Nice.
river going right through the middle there.
Yeah, it has this island with a forked river and all these hills surrounding it. It's nice. It's really nice. Looks
Yeah.
a little bit like the Belgian Ardennes.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
I could drive a half an hour that way to reach the Belgian Ardennes.
Fly to the U.S. and look at some far more basic architecture instead.
Yeah. Hey, but I mean, we're now already well beyond St. Louis. I mean, where we met. I remember we met also in Boston at a symposium for nuclear.
Yep.
But we also met in Bonn. When was that? Was that 2018 or 2019?
That was 2017.
Was that 2017 as well?
Yes.
Same year.
It was a hell of a year. Yeah.
Jesus.
Absolutely. Yep. We were there. We, let's see, did you come along with us to talk to the occupiers of the, no, I don't think you were there for that part.
No. That was the day after.
Yeah, that's right. And I didn't come with you and Tay and Frankie because Tay told me there was no room in the car.
No, that was the trouble was you were arriving, and you were arriving from Dusseldorf, or some no Tay and.
I was in Cologne, I think.
No, wait a second. It was Tay and Grant were there, and we arranged to meet in Dusseldorf at the airport. and and,
Uh,
and you got off the wrong the
oh, yeah, that's right. Very.
you got off the wrong thing, and
The
I
trains are
already
too damn fast. I fell asleep and
you
boom.
were yeah you were one city away, which
Yeah,
is like a million people in in that
yeah,
place.
man.
And then
Yeah.
we drove. I remember. I also got. I that happened before. I also got Ben Hurt from the airport in Bonn.
Oh man.
And then we went to a place in Bonn. I can't recall any, but that was the place where you really had an altercation.
Are we talking about at the anti-nuclear rally?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
there is this one altercation that you've been in.
it's true. Uh,
It's
that's,
not
I
like
mean,
you started it.
I did start it.
No. Listen, it's nothing to be ashamed of because you were just booted off by the police.
Yeah, and some anti-nuclear activists. But in Germany, probably the same thing. I don't know. At least in 2017.
I,
Yeah.
I remember the year after that, I went to Philipsburg. I've seen Philipsburg. That's it's one of the nuclear power plants in Germany. I saw Philipsburg on its last operational day,
Mm,
creating steam and electricity. Yeah,
dang.
amazing. And it was ice and ice and ice cold. I don't know if that was the same year of the year after. Yeah, so much happened in those days. It was amazing. Well, amazing. It was sad because we're talking about the late 20 teens, right? 2017, 2018, 2019. This is when the renewable hype was at its strongest, and the anti-nuclear sentiments were also at its strongest.
It's true. And economic pressures from cheap gas in the US
Yeah,
were perhaps at their strongest.
yeah.
Yeah, it looked very, yeah, there's a lot of reason to have a pessimistic outlook at
I
that
was
point.
I was really down. I was
Uh,
really down. I was like, they're only going to close more nuclear power plants, and nobody's going to build new ones.
yeah,
That was the feeling that I had in that time, 2017 till 2020.
and that was the correct feeling at the time. There wasn't a whole lot of reason to think otherwise.
But we
Other than
turned it
hey, there's a
around.
bunch of yeah, other than there's a bunch of crazy guys who are trying to change it.
We I mean the reason why I say we, it's not like we actually did it. We didn't sign any laws. We didn't make any policies. We didn't sign any, you know, contracts to build new nuclear reactors. But what we did do is we did make a lot of noise, and we made sure that the truth was out there, like the Axe Files.
Yeah,
No. But really, you know, the whole energy reality debate, making sure everybody understood. Listen, you can invest as much money as you want in renewables. You can build your whole infrastructure three, four, or five times over, and yes, it's going to be dirt cheap, but it's not going to keep the lights on when it gets cold and dark.
yeah. It's going to seem dirt cheap, but then you realize you have to maintain an entire backup grid
Yeah,
for when
you
you
have to
have
build your system twice.
yeah, when you have the doldrums like you guys have had the last couple. Is the wind blowing again yet? Or
It's blowing again. Yeah.
okay,
We
all
had a
right.
2 week doldrum, which drove the prices up to well beyond 900 euros per megawatt hour.
That is brutal.
Yeah, that's extremely brutal. So now the wind is back, and now the prices are like 40-ish, 50-ish euros per megawatt hour. So
Okay,
I mean,
yeah,
20 times that.
yeah.
The price jumps 20x just because the wind says sayonara, not coming back.
Are people starting to connect the volatility of the prices to the weather, or is that still kind of unknown?
Oh yeah, reality is absolutely setting in.
Okay.
And here's the thing: we're in the end days of the current German government. I mean, basically, it's gone.
Hmm.
It was already gone a couple of weeks ago, but now it's completely gone because the Germans basically said we don't trust Schultz anymore.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
still at these European ministerials, they're still blocking any effort to make nuclear cheaper.
What the hell?
It's like, really? Don't you have anything better to do? What about you fixing your own economy?
That's right. We're gonna change that though.
Yes.
There's gonna be some pro nuclear events in Europe in 2025.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm hoping I can come to at least one of them. Now with a little baby, it's a little harder.
Are we going to do Berlin again?
Not that I know. Let's see. Is Berlin on the list? Maybe. It might be actually. I'm trying to remember, but
We've been to Berlin twice, right?
yeah,
Yeah, twice.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot to talk about in Germany.
I mean,
Sure.
the trouble with the Germans is that, we used to have this counterbalance, which was France and the UK. Those together, they could balance out Germany, the bad things that Germany did. But right now, Germany is basically without real counterbalance. France is trying to counterbalance things in Germany, or counterbalance things in Europe. But I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's really hard. It's really hard. So at this moment, my channel, for those who are just chiming in, I can't say that, I'm not so certain that everybody who's watching now has watched my other videos, but I recently had a video doing like 280,000 views. So it's a sign. It's a sign that stuff is going awry in Europe. Because what I'm talking about is not positive stuff. It's not like I'm going to wax poetic about nuclear and look at how great everything is going, because that doesn't drive views, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
So what is it that you are working on right now? I've talking to Ryan Pickering the other day. He's working with these nice clubs, which is a really cool idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know that you work with these ambassadors. I've enrolled in the ambassador program myself, by the way. I still need to make my homework.
I know.
But
What the hell?
can you tell something
Looking
about it?
fresh on the status sheet. Still, it's not complete.
Yeah, I mean, I still need to make a video.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta make a video. Should just upload one of these. That'll work. Uh, yeah. So yeah, we're recognizing that there is a global movement of nuclear advocates, but we are a bit siloed at times, and we're also getting a lot of people who want to be involved, have a passion for this, but they're not sure what to do. And so we're kind of putting those things together. Let's create a community of people to kind of share best practices. Let's train them up really good so they have a confidence in hosting nuclear events and communicating with their lawmakers, decision makers, and creating pro-nuclear content and putting it out on the internet. Anything, making presentations, stuff like that is all included as part of the Atomic Ambassador Toolkit.
We need more voices.
We do. And yeah, we started this in 2021, actually, with funding from GAIN, which is a project at Idaho's National Laboratory. And so that was like a 3-year contract. It ended at the end of April of this year. And yeah, at that point, we kind of like, hey, let's put all this stuff we've been doing in person, virtually. Let's put it all online in like Google Classroom, and make this all sort of an on-demand thing. So we're not as limited with, okay, can I be there at this training to help usher people through?
That's hard. I mean, that's really hard, and it's so, especially if you want to cast a wide net. You know, if you have to do it face to face, it either involves you traveling a lot to other places, or other people traveling to a place that you arrange where you can meet.
Yeah. And that's just, it's not I mean, I could do that in, my mid to late 20s when I didn't have a child. um, but
I
not
know
anymore.
exactly what you feel like.
We gotta pass the torch. Not only we gotta light a bunch of torches and pass all of them.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that's a big part of it, and we're looking at expanding that. We're going to be doing some fundraising specifically targeted at expanding that program significantly because it does have a good impact. It's just we need to scale it. So that's good, and then I think we'll keep doing some of our sort of prototyping activities like this summer and early fall. We handed out over 7,000 bananas at gay pride festivals, state fairs, farmers markets, trying to think, sporting events, concerts. So we kind of like, okay, if we're going to use the banana as a engagement tactic, what's the best possible way? And that went really well, so well that Constellation actually had part of their Come Clean campaign focused on that as well. They have their banana stand was a little fancier than ours, I guess.
No.
They had some like really professional stagecraft people put theirs together. Ours is like a yellow wagon with some PVC pipes and a homemade sign, a little more grassroots. But yeah, it was a really successful engagement mechanism, and we have.
Here's the thing, Eric. Sorry to interrupt you, but listen. Many people accuse us of astroturfing. You know that we are the people who get paid millions of dollars to do this stuff. I mean, we can barely keep up our own beds.
$10 and a ham sandwich. That's what we'll do it for.
I mean, it's not like there's the cat again. It's not like Constellation says, "Here, Eric Meijer, please build our stand."
No.
As soon as they catch on a good idea, they do it themselves, and they do it better than we do.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe not, but
well, to a degree better, right? The execution of it is more fancy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It might lose a little that grassroots charm in the process, but
yeah,
we've seen that happen quite a few times actually. Things that we do, and all of a sudden, oh wow,
it's gone with your ideas. Bye.
Hey, that's a great idea. Should we pay them to do it? No, let's just do it ourselves.
Forget about it.
That's all right.
To some degree, that's still the charm of our work. The fact, the fact that we have to really scratch by, make sure that we get some funding from some government or maybe some NGO who thinks that we do some good stuff. I mean, I'm absolutely thankful for whatever support I can get. But if you look at, we were talking about the 5-day march that you began with, the California thing.
Sure. Yeah.
NRDC, Greenpeace, Sierra Club.
Got kicked out of the Sierra Club office.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you got kicked out of their office. They have money to pay for an office.
Oh yeah, it was up on like the 40th floor or something. It was like top of the skyscraper.
Why are we the people who are doing astroturf? What is this nonsense?
We're not staying in hotels or camping at a county, not even a state park or a county park for that.
I mean, my NGO, we did a camping for nuclear event earlier this year, and a couple of my friends they went swimming in the discharge of the Borselen nuclear power plant.
Excellent.
So it has a once-through cooling system, which means it takes the water from the Schelde River, it heats it up a little bit while cooling down its cooling medium, and then it discharges it again into the Schelde River. And they said, "Can we swim here?" And the people from the power plant said, "Well, Yeah. So they went swimming in the hot discharge of the nuclear power plant while it was freezing outside. But here's the kicker: we paid for all of that stuff with our own money. Then a dime was sent our way by the power company or by anybody to do this. I mean, all the stuff that we did together in Bonn and in Berlin
Mm,
and in a couple of other places, most of the money came out of my own pocket.
yeah. We got crowdfunding for a chunk of it. So blood, sweat, and tears paid for it, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
as on Christmas Eve, I'm just like packaging up a bunch of like Gen A hats and fidget spinners or fission spinners, all the reward perks. But yeah,
Remind me that if I ever get the chance to visit your house, please package me a couple of T-shirts
oh yeah,
because sending them here is going to be cost prohibitive.
okay, yeah, yeah. That get you the full pack, the full array.
Yeah, yeah. So what's next for Generation Atomic? Do you think? I mean, especially with the the
Yeah.
new administration incoming, the Trump train.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting question. Clearly, there's a lot of public awareness work still to be done. We saw recent polls from Radiant Energy surveys showing that still the majority of people think that nuclear plants produce carbon emissions. I, it's wild. And they've asked the question a dozen different ways and still get the same result. So we need to keep getting that message out there. So I think we'll continue expanding our social media presence and making more videos and memes and doing all that good stuff, because that's how I got started, right? Somebody
Yeah,
put some time, Gordon specifically, put some time, made a nice video, got it out there, and it changed my entire outlook. So we've gotten lots of comments over the years saying like, I never knew this. This has changed everything for me. People signing up to volunteer as a result of that. So I think that's a really important core piece of the work we do, is packaging this information in a way that's simple, easy to understand, gets people in the door, and then we can steer them your way for the deeper dive on the electricity markets in Europe, or over to Chris Kiefer Decouple for the philosophy of energy use or something like that. But yeah, that's part of our role. Expand the ambassadors I already mentioned, and then more close to home here, Minnesota, we're going to lift our nuclear moratorium next year.
yeah.
We built a amazing coalition of about a dozen unions, 60 electric co-ops, the State Chamber of Commerce, Citizens Climate Lobby recently joined as well.
Really?
Yeah. So that's awesome. Jim Hansen, of course, as a friend, he was the easy one to get to sign on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna come for that, and we've written the legislation, shared it with the Energy Committee members, and also spoken with the Prairie Island Indian community, which is a really important stakeholder to getting anything positive done for nuclear in Minnesota, and they're not opposed at all. So they just need to be involved in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Minnesota doesn't have a nuclear power plant.
We have two, actually.
Two?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you just have a moratorium. That's all.
Yeah, can't build anymore. Yeah, so we keep, extending. Both of our plants are going to go to 80 years.
Which ones do you have? Is that Dresden?
No, that's in Illinois. We have Prairie Island, which is a 2-unit PWR.
Yeah.
They're both medium reactors. They're like 500 some megawatts.
Hey, good enough. Any reactor that operates is good enough.
Hey, yeah, it's already built. It works.
Good enough.
Good enough. And then the other one is a 800 megawatt boiling. It's just under 700 actually. It's like 650 boiling water reactor, Monticello.
Monticello. Oh, right.
Yeah. Yep. Not Monticello as you might imagine it being
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
pronounced.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like many European names, we like to just bastardize the pronunciation in the U.S. It's fun.
So three operational reactors, two power plants.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
mean, I guess that Minnesota still has a ton of coal plants and gas plants, probably.
Yeah, we do. The largest power plant in our state is a coal plant, and it's located approximately 5 kilometers from Monticello nuclear plant. So I think it's one of the best places in the country
Yeah,
for a new build. We
yeah.
already have power lines there. They did put down 800 megawatts of solar to replace the 2.3 gigawatt coal station.
It's a nice gesture.
Yeah, yeah, it's cute. It's very cute.
Great.
Uh, yeah, but
It's a 2.3 gigawatt plant, you say?
yeah, the Sherburne County
Hey, that's
coal.
ideal.
Yeah,
That's
it's
two AP1000s.
right, perfect, right there. It's already a brown site. You got staff nearby, so you can share
Hey,
services
listen,
driving back and forth.
retrain. Yeah, retraining some of these guys who work in the turbine building. These engineers that keep the turbines running and such. There's loads of carryover. They need to get retrained, obviously, for some new tech, or some stuff that's different in an AP1000, and they will get a huge pay raise. So I mean, come on, what's not to
Yeah,
love?
exactly. Like you're not going to move all of these coal workers, coal power workers, over to like cleaning solar panels.
No, no, forget about it.
Uh,
They have skills.
yeah, yeah. It's just
They have
it just
skills. Retrain them. Keep the coal plant running. Even though I'm in favor of burning the least amount of coal possible, but it doesn't make any sense to close the coal plant down, demolish it, and then start building your AP1000s. I mean, with all due respect for the United States, but you're big enough to start building your AP1000s right next to the coal
oh,
plant.
yeah, absolutely. And with projected demand increases from data centers and electric vehicles, and more people are switching to heat pumps here as well, we're going to need the power. So that plan is supposed to come offline in 2030 and 2031, I believe, but
Keep
they're already
going for 1 or 2
discussing.
years more, if
Yeah,
need be.
yeah,
And listen, 1 or 2 years, it's not like you want to shut down your coal plant and move your people over to the AP1000 straight away. Would be
right.
ideal if you have like 3 years for retraining purposes and such. I get that you need to keep
Yeah.
some, you know,
Might
keep
not
them.
even need that many. Was it there's the liftoff report looked at this. Also, there's a bipartisan policy center study at like 80% of the jobs are transferable
Oh,
with
really?
very minimal retraining. Yeah.
80%.
Yeah,
I mean, damn. And
I
those
know.
other people, I mean, who knows? Who knows what they do these days? What might be, if it's somebody who does an intelligent job, something that requires, a lot of brain power, they might even be reschooled to do something new in a nuclear power plant if they want to,
Sure. Yeah.
depending on how old they are, obviously, and whether they are, uh, whether they want to do something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, those are questions that you have to ask, but there's possibilities abound. That would be really cool. I would really be down for seeing. Yeah, Sherwood. Right? Was it Sherwood?
Sherburne.
Sherburne, right? That's one of the largest coal plants in the U.S., I believe.
Probably. I haven't looked at that,
It's
but
pretty big.
let's just double check. So it's 2.24. So
Yeah,
two
yeah.
2.2, I guess, if been around properly, gigawatts.
I'm here for that. Let's make sure that the nuclear power company, the nuclear company, or
Yeah.
or Westinghouse or whoever wants to do it, gets involved quickly and starts thinking about getting the thing online in 2035. Let's expedite this shit.
Yeah,
Who knew?
absolutely.
who knows? Doge Musk, and Chris Wright might be able to pull it through.
Yeah, I think lifting the moratorium would put a lot of wind in our sails, because now they can't even discuss it seriously. There's no point in doing the feasibility studies or any investors looking at it deeply if it's illegal to build a nuclear
Right.
station.
I heard that the power demand will rise by 20 times in Georgia.
Wow. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
insane. That's hard to believe, actually. 20
yeah,
times.
20 times, 20 times. I mean, I don't know where the demand will come from. Maybe because they have a lot of data center growth as well, but obviously those things aren't that potent. So there must be something else as well, some manufacturing or I
That's
don't know.
wild. Yeah, they do have quite a bit there. I know automotive manufacturing has been a
Mhm.
growing industry.
Yeah.
Are they making chips there too?
Is it becoming the new Motown?
Kind of seems like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's
But
crazy, isn't it?
it is
Crazy.
crazy.
How is Detroit these days? I mean, it's no longer a car city the way it used to be, right?
Yeah. Well, they got a good football team, so they got that going for them.
Isn't there a nuclear power plant right around the corner near Detroit?
Yeah. So yeah, Fermi is not too
Fairview.
far. Um, that's, I believe, just south of Detroit. Got to look on a map now.
Hey, it's
Yeah, there's
fine.
also DTE, and Palisades, of course, is on the other side. Yep.
Yeah.
Fermi is probably the closest one. That's just south of Detroit.
Palisades. It's a cool story. I really hope that they can speed that up. That
Oh
restart of
yeah,
Palisades.
yeah. That's that one.
A
We
big win for nuclear.
I
It
think
was the
we've
first one through the wall with the restarts.
yeah, yeah, and Holtec deserves a gold star for having. I remember I kind of used to shake my fist at Holtec in the
You are the
past.
ones destroying our nuclear
Yeah,
reactors.
exactly. You guys are the grim reapers of nuclear. You and Energy Solutions, quit decommissioning our nuclear plants. And now both, Holtec was the leader, certainly.
Yes,
And
but it's nice that you mentioned Energy Solutions because they are decommissioning 3 Mile Island, and who knows, maybe 3 Mile Island will become the site for the first molten salt reactor that we started talking about.
yeah,
Who
I,
knows?
I think so. And
It
Energy
could also be
Solutions,
Zion or Kawani, but 3 Mile Island would be a real victory for nuclear.
it would. And I mean, I think that's going to happen. You got Constellation involved. That's very, very likely to happen. And Energy Solutions just signed a MOU with Terrestrial
Yes,
to deploy their IMSR at decommissioning sites. So
brownfields is what they say, but I mean, there's not a lot of brownfields there. There's 4 brownfields. One is a test reactor somewhere in what is it, Arkansas or down south somewhere. One is Kewanee, which they are still decommissioning. Zion, which is a really sweet brownfield, in the north
almost.
of Chicago. I
Mhm.
once talked to Alyssa Hayes about the what happened to the whole community when the Zion nuclear power plant was shut down and decommissioned. So
Yeah.
Zion would be a great location, but 3 Mile Island, I'm down for 3 Mile Island, especially because of the whole because they are already restarting what it is 3 Mile Island 1. Yes, 3 Mile Island 1 is being restarted. 3 Mile Island 2 is being decommissioned,
Hmm.
and the whole big tech uh, Microsoft being involved in this whole deal as well. It's just
Yeah.
a sweet spot. I really hope that this is going to be 3 Mile Island. Something tells me that 3 Mile Island is a good place.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great. I was just looking. They have Fort Calhoun in
Oh,
Nebraska
Fort
as well.
Calhoun, right, right. That's
Yeah.
also a cool place.
Yeah. That'd be great. And it's hard to imagine, but maybe Songs, San Onofre, nuclear
Oh
generating station.
yes, that's right. They are decommissioning songs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be a big turnaround there. But the legislature in California was discussing a moratorium carve out for small modular reactors last year, and the year before.
That's an opening. That's an
Yeah, it
opening.
is.
And
It
and and
is.
Yeah, and we should make use of it. It's a little bit the same with Pritzker. He's from Illinois, right?
Right. Yeah.
When Pritzker, I mean, I was a little bit dissatisfied with the fact that he said,
Oh
"Well, I'm going to veto large reactors, but if you make it small modular reactors, I will be okay with it."
yeah. That was a huge mistake.
Yeah, that was you can still amend that later on.
Yes, yes, and I imagine they will. I don't know if he needs to leave the governor's office before that happens or not, but yeah, I don't think that one's going to stick.
Yeah, but listen, the fact that the door got open for nuclear, even if it's only a 300 megawatt opening,
Hmm.
it's an opening. It makes people amenable. You can talk a lot more positively about nuclear. It's no longer trying to fight against the established anti-nuclear dogma anymore.
Right. Yeah. Instead, just talking more specifics about the value of large versus small reactors, and why isn't this silly? We're excluding the Natrium project, which is 345.
Yeah, it's
all,
it's
all
it's
that
just
kind of
so
stuff.
arbitrary. I mean, it's also one of these things. I mean, I get that there's this whole debate going on. Some people are really married to this idea that you have to do this as a cost efficient as possible. So you have to go with the economies of scale, and you have to make it as big as you can possibly make it, right?
Yeah.
And to some degree, I agree with that. Listen, if you have a connection, a power line that can carry 2 or 3 gigawatts of power, and you have all the space in the world, and cooling is no problem, then build them as big as you can possibly can. That I mean that's how I. But if you have let's suppose that we have a group of data centers, right? And these data centers together, they don't use much more than 100, maybe 200 megawatts. And it doesn't make much sense to for them to go to a power company and make a deal and say, okay, let's build us an AP 1000 over there because we really need to really need 1,000 megawatts of juice for these 200 megawatts worth of.
It
So in
might.
that case, I can imagine that some of these big tech companies say, okay, listen, give us a small modular reactor. I
Yeah.
still I don't know whether X Energy and Kairos are going to offer electricity. Whether that is going to be, but in the end, it doesn't matter to these companies. It only matters that they have a stable source of electricity, and
Mhm.
if the price of electricity does not cut into their bottom line as much as people think. So it doesn't matter to them if they have to pay $100 per megawatt hour or $150 per megawatt hour. Sure, it would be great if you could get it for less, but if you can get a stable electricity source that costs $150 per megawatt hour, and you make like 1,000% profit on that anyway, I mean
Yeah.
that, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So that's why I still have high hopes for small modular reactors. I think that small modular reactors definitely deserve a chance. They're getting a bad rap thanks to new scale. That the whole implosion of the UAMS deal. That's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But if we look at, for instance, the Netherlands,
Hmm.
pulling it close to home for me, our premier, Jesus Christ, somebody is driving some kind of a race truck in my neighborhood.
Zoom's doing a great job filtering it out, though, somehow.
Oh, right. The National Research Organization in the Netherlands, they just did research on what the ideal mix for the Netherlands was, and they said, okay, we can easily use 4 or 6 large nuclear power reactors at the shore, where most of our demand is, in the western shore. And the trouble is that in the southeast, where I live, that's the place where the highest population density is, next to the shore area.
Hmm.
Now, there's place for 13 SMRs in the Netherlands, and 5 of those can be placed in my neck of the woods. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't build AP1000s because there's no space or there's no transmission capabilities or any of that,
Yeah.
then give me the next best thing. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want it all.
Yeah, I mean, you should at least have the opportunity to assess either scenario. Like, okay, how expensive is the transmission? Would it make more sense to build a large reactor
Yes, yes.
in the transmission, or would it,
That should
or
be your
co-locate the
starting
facility?
position. What do we have? What fits
Yeah,
here, right? And and
yeah,
and, and then you can go from there. If you can't build big, then build small.
right. Yeah,
That's But if you
taking
can build big, build big.
putting that decision into the hands of politicians is a bad idea.
I think so too.
It should go to the actual experts in
It's a
this.
technical merit question.
It is, yeah. So public utilities commissions, folks, energy planners at the utilities. These are the types of people that you need to ask these questions to,
Yeah.
investors. Yeah. So I don't know. Minnesota was like walking down that path too, and I'm glad we were able to hit the brakes on it because I didn't want us to just be another Illinois and
No, no,
pass
no.
really.
Especially with the coal plant. If you can build AP1000s there, go for it.
Yeah, it's the one thing we actually know how to build right now. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would be a shame if you forgot about that opportunity. Is there anything you want to give our viewers? Is there any message that you want to leave with on this Christmas day?
Yeah, I guess if you are a person like me who likes to watch a lot of videos about nuclear on YouTube, um, good on you. I consider you part of my online family. Um, but I guess I'll just offer as a suggestion. Think to yourself, how can I actualize this information? Who can I tell about this? Who, even in your life, have you ever had a conversation about nuclear energy with your brother or your parents or anybody? You can just try that out and see what they think. See if you can change a few hearts and minds if you haven't yet, and then that can be a stepping stone to doing things. Talking to your politicians, joining a advocacy support group like ours, Generation Atomic, or some of the other amazing ones around the world that we can help funnel you into. Yeah, and do something. It's if you're just watching this and thinking about it personally, that isn't making any change in the world. I mean, maybe if you thumbs up the video and give Thies some money, that helps a little bit. But be the change you want to see in the world. If you're looking for permission, you have it from me. So go do it. Don't let the world pass you by. This is one of the most important issues of our time. And if you're watching this, you're one of the very few people who know enough to be able to make the right choices for our world. So do it.
Absolutely. I think empowerment. That's one of the most important takeaways. I mean, if an average guy like Eric and an average guy like me, if we can decide to make a difference, and I'm not going to say that we made a huge difference, but we did make a difference, then you can do it too. So join us in trying to get this better world together. Yeah, I think that is an awesome Christmas message to leave on this video. And with that, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Eric.
Yeah, same to you, Thies. I hope you and your family and everybody who's watching this has a great holiday, whatever you celebrate, and
Right.
yeah, let's keep those Christmas lights on, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you all for watching, and may the strong force be with you. Bye bye.
See ya.